Hello and welcome to www.collectinglouisvuitton.com. Please don't forget to come to my free reference library website. Heaps of Louis Vuitton product reviews, heaps of photographs and articles about collecting Louis Vuitton, and heaps of information. Today we're reviewing a Louis Vuitton book, and this book here is Louis Vuitton, The Birth of Modern Luxury. Now this is actually quite an expensive book. I actually bought my copy from the Louis Vuitton store. However, the book is available via Amazon or major booksellers, and I have even seen the book in some specialty booksellers. However, I must say I bought it from Louis Vuitton, and it just coincidentally that turns out to be one of the least expensive agents for the book, so that's always a good thing to remember. The book itself is a huge coffee table type book. It's basically an encyclopedia. It has about 537 pages in it, and it's packed jammed with information about Louis Vuitton and the products they produce. Now the book itself, it's I must say I think it's probably the best book written on Louis Vuitton, and it's a wealth of knowledge. It's got things like it tells you the Louis Vuitton family tree, how they started the company, and where they came from, and the story behind the old Paris when they moved in there. It also, the book goes through the first generation of Louis Vuitton, and it goes through when they formed the company. I don't want to reveal too much about it, but basically the creation of the company. It goes through the suitcases that first came out. It goes through the damier pattern that emerged, and it then talks about how they moved towards the monogram as a means of stopping counterfeiters. And it's got some very, very interesting information of how the company was formed and the times that it went through there. It also has got a lot of historical information, like there's even a photo of them building the Eiffel Tower. So there's some wonderful historical details there, as well as historical pictures like explorers who are traveling with Louis Vuitton items. And the book goes through many of the history of the suitcases and how they evolved there. The book doesn't one thing, it's not that I'm disappointed with it, but it doesn't necessarily, the book doesn't mention, like, for it doesn't pick the models like the Noe or the Alza suitcase and say it was invented in such and such, this is when it came out, version 1 was this, version 2. It doesn't really go into detail like that. It more goes into detail about the family and how the times change. So in that regards there, if you're looking for a history on particular models, like to know when the Alza came out or when the Biston came out, it probably will disappoint you a little bit. But that's not to say the book's not worth having. It's probably the best book on Louis Vuitton to buy there, and it's extremely. I've found it to be an extremely interesting book. And I've often gone back to it. It's got wonderful photography. Like, it's got photos from Vogue magazine in it, and just the full colour of Louis Vuitton is in this book here. It also mentions when the company was taken over by Bernard Arnault, and how that happened. It also it looks at some of the cutting edge display. Louis Vuitton has had some wonderful storefronts that they've done, and display windows. So it's got some fantastic information in it there, and I think it's a great book. I'd say it's probably the best book to get, but only get it if you're a really serious Louis Vuitton nut. It's something that if you wanted to know, as I said before, if you wanted to know when did certain models come out, it doesn't really answer that. So it's more of a company history, and but in the same token, it's a brilliant book, and I'd have to say it's probably the best book about Louis Vuitton, and I'd say it's a book which is it's regarded as the encyclopedia on Louis Vuitton, and I think it's a great book to have in the serious collectors collection. Thanks very much, and I hope you've enjoyed this review, and please don't forget to come to my website www.collectinglouisvuitton.com for more product reviews, more photos and information about Louis Vuitton. Thank you.